Howdy, I'm Big Yankovic, podcaster, author, and carnivore, and it is March 25th, 2024, and I'm here with my report for week 43 of my journey to Wonderland using Carnivore, and this week we're not doing alternate day fasting. No fasting this week. We're going to see how that goes. All right, let's hurry on over and check in on the daily videos and find out how this week went here on Big Yankovic on health. Okay, it is Monday and been a good day so far. Had myself some good stuff to eat. I had some pork belly, I had eggs, I had fat trimmings, I had a little bit of roast. And I am good and full. We're going to do that this week. It's going to be a feeding week instead of a fasting week. And we're going to see, does that do something for me or not? Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, it is Tuesday and still not fasting. Day 2 of not fasting. I weigh more than I did on day 1. I guess I'll try and report that each day and we'll see what happens. If I go up and down, or if I just go up, up, up. We shall see. But this morning I got up, I had some eggs, I had myself a New York strip steak, and I had fat trimmings that I fried up in the air fryer and made into my signature item, deep fat fries. Very tasty all around. I think I ate less at least than I did yesterday. I'm still just stuffed though. So we'll see what happens. Will I tomorrow weigh more or less? Does it matter? I don't know. But we shall see. Okay, it is Wednesday, and today I weighed a little less than I did yesterday. Not significantly, but that bring my average down a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I still think that my average is going to be above even last week's. But that's just fine because I feel good. I feel like I am healthy. So I'm going to keep this up, at least for a whole week. Maybe I'll do more fasting next week. I don't know. We're going to see. Maybe I'll just start working out and see what that does. Although I was planning on waiting till I got under 200 to do that. Maybe it'll be what gets me under 200 instead. I don't know. We shall see. But anyways, today I had eggs and hamburgers, which sadly I burned. Put them on the barbecue, and I should have taken them off sooner. I was inside and they burned while I wasn't there. So those ones were a little crispy, pretty dry and not so great. But I did cook a few more on the stove using just some ground beef. And those were a lot better because I was right there by them and I didn't miss them getting too cooked. And I also had some fat trimmings that I fried up in the air fryer. So that was the extent of my food. I am stuffed. That's what I'm going to eat today. And we'll eat again tomorrow. I'll tell you about that then. Okay, it is Thursday, and usually I fast on Thursday, but I didn't this time. And in fact, I was actually kind of bad today. For some reason, I couldn't keep myself from eating. There was pepperoni in our fridge, and I ate some of it. And then I ate some bacon, and I even ate some ham. So we're going to see just how bad things get. How much water will I retain from eating all that stuff? I don't know. I did eat good stuff too, though. I had a whole bunch of ground beef, and I had fat trimmings to go along with that. All in all, I really didn't eat that much, but it is the kind of stuff that tends to make me retain water because it has, I guess, extra stuff in it, salt and things like that. So we'll see what happens, see how upset I am tomorrow when I come back. See this smiley face here? Now let's see what face you get when the wipe finishes. Okay, it is Friday and still not fasting. I ate this morning. I had myself 6 eggs and a bunch of ground beef all just kind of mixed together, and it was pretty tasty. And I also had these deep fat fries. One of my favorite things is just beef fat fried up in the air fryer, and it was good. And I filled myself up on those 3 things, and that's probably all I'll eat today. I'm totally full. I mean, I'm not fasting, but I suppose I kind of am doing 1 meal a day fasting. But yeah, I barely consider that fasting. I know some people think it is, but for me, that's not enough to be a real fast. But yeah, I'm still doing that. I think I'm a little bit heavier today than I was yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten that pepperoni, but it was only like a tiny bit. And your weight is always fluctuating, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, it is Saturday, and oh, let me tell you about Saturday. Saturday was a weird day, different than I've done in a while. First of all, this morning I got up and I had, I don't know, like a pound and a half of ground beef left over, and then I had 3 little teeny, itsy bitsy little sirloin steaks that I cooked both of those up, and I ate both of those things. Didn't have any fat trimmings left, so I didn't have any fat trimmings today. But that was my food for the day, I thought. Oh, I forgot to confess that I also ate a tiny bit of cheese. I was waiting for that stuff to cook, and I looked in the fridge, and there was cheese, and it was some Italian blend mix of cheese. I took a handful of it, and I put it in my mouth, and I ate it, and that's not a good idea. I know that cheese is not helpful for me, but I did it. I had some cheese, and I suspect it will come back to bite me in the end, probably. But I guess you could say it already has, because I figured I was done for the day. I figured that was going to be all I was going to eat, and I was fine. I was never hungry. Sometimes I get hungry right around like 8 o'clock at night, but usually by then I'm like, okay, it's too late. So I'm just going to have to deal with it, and I'll be fine. I'm not going to eat again. But this time around, we were grocery shopping, and we went by H-E-B, and our H-E-B has a barbecue restaurant inside of it. And I just thought, some brisket sounds really good right now. And so I suggested to my wife, maybe we should go in there and get some brisket, get some barbecue. And she was like, I guess we could. I'd be down with that. But then I changed my mind. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. We went home, and then when we got home, we were putting away all our groceries, and I looked in the fridge, and there was a little chunks of Parmesan cheese. And all of a sudden, I found myself eating that cheese too. And I thought, geez, if I'm going to go this far, maybe I better eat some actual food. I'll go get some brisket. And I said, I changed my mind. Let's go out. Let's have some barbecue. So we went out to that barbecue place that was in the H-E-B, and they had no barbecue left. They're like, all we've got is a sausage. And I was like, oh, I don't want that. I was here for brisket, dang it. So we got in the car and we went to the next barbecue joint down in further down the road. And that place was almost out of barbecue too by the time we got there. I guess you don't go for barbecue late. It was like 8:30 by the time we got to that place. And I asked for a pound of brisket, and they're like, oh, I've got this much. And he pulled out a chunk, put it on the cutting board thing there. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'll take that. And he cut it up for me, and then he said, oh, it looks like this is about a half pound. I said, okay. And then he said, hey, I have a chicken breast here. Do you want that? It's the only other thing I've got. And I said, nah, I'm good. And my wife got chopped brisket, which they did have. That was where it's all chopped and mixed in with the sauce. She got that on a potato. And we were heading out the door, and the guy's like, hey, do you want this chicken breast? I'll give it to you for free. You don't even have to pay for it. And I was like, fine, I'll take your chicken breast. I'm not much for chicken, but can't turn down free barbecue, right? So, yeah, so I had the brisket, and I had that chicken breast. And I ate all that stuff at like 8:30 at night. So I'm sure tomorrow morning when I weigh in, I'm going to weigh a fair amount more than I did today. I mean, I would have to. If nothing else, the food's just going to still be in me. it's not going to have had time to process through. And so I will for certain weigh more, which is just going to screw up my average a little more. It's already not good this week. And yeah, I was giving in and having cheese. That's not good. I've got to, I think, probably get back to doing some fasting next week. Get a handle on stuff, because I'm starting to come a little loose. Maybe eating every day all the time without a purpose. I think I could do it if I was also working out every day all the time. But since I'm not, I probably need to get back to fasting. See how much I can do some fasting. Maybe I'll do a 72-hour fast next week and see what that does. Especially after I've eaten all this week. It's like priming and then a big fast. I've heard that that's supposed to be good. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, it is Sunday, and as you might have expected, my weight went up again today. After yesterday, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I did all sorts of stuff that I shouldn't have done. Eating cheese, eating late, eating all that kind of stuff. I don't know. We went out, we went on a date. It was nice. It was something that I haven't been doing very much of. So I guess I can't complain too much, but I might if it keeps going up. I don't know. But today I got up, I had myself some ground beef. Actually, it was not just ground beef. I took ground beef, ground lamb, and ground pork, and I mixed them all together, a pound of each together, and made some hamburger with that. And that was actually really good. And then I also had some fat trimming. This time it was pork fat, because they had pork fat at the store yesterday, and so I made those. And I have to tell you that pork fat I like better than beef fat. It's harder to come by. They don't have it as frequently, but I like it better. It tastes better. It takes longer to cook too, which seems weird, but I don't know. I had that for my food, and I think that's pretty much all I had. Did I do it? I did sneak a couple bites of sausage that my wife had out like an hour or two ago for dinner. But I didn't eat dinner. I just snuck a couple of bites. So we'll see. I'm sure it'll make things worse as well. Okay, so that was my week this week. I don't know that it was a very good one. I was trying to just fuel, I was trying to be like, okay, I'm going to skip the fasting and just eat what I need to eat. But then I started getting a little off track and eating what I shouldn't eat. I started eating things like ham and cheese and things that I know are going to cause me to retain water. Things that don't usually agree with me. I'm mostly to the point that I'm doing a lion diet. Not quite there, because I eat a fair amount of pork, but it's close. It's almost there. And yeah, going off of that and doing the stuff that I did this week, it's not going to help me. It's not going to be good. So how did this week go? I bet you can already guess, but let's go ahead and see. Last week, I weighed 210.5 at the end of the week. And this week, my average, 213.1. So that means that I went up 2.6 pounds this week. So I'm headed in the wrong direction. Trying to get to Wonderland, and I'm headed back to Thunderland. I'm not going where I should. So I guess it's time that I need to pull it together and cinch things down a little bit more. I think I will go back to doing fasting this week, and we'll see how that goes. And I will avoid anything like cheese or sausages or anything like that this week. It will be all whole foods, meats that aren't processed, things that are good for me. Not that cheese and sausage is particularly bad for you, but in my situation, you know, it takes a lot to get myself to where I want to go. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm pretty much there. I'm really, really close. And even if I never lost another pound and I just hovered right where I am for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. You know, I would feel like I really turned a corner and it was a job well done. But I would have that little bit of feeling like, hey, I didn't go all the way. I never made it to my peak self. I know what my peak self should be, and it's not quite this. This is close, but it's not quite this. There's still more to go. So I'm going to try and get there. I'm going to try to make it to my peak self. I still probably have 20 to 25 pounds, maybe even 30 that I need to lose. Although maybe I'll never lose that much. If I start working out and gain muscle, then I may never lose the pounds, but just change the distribution of the pounds, which would be fine with me as well. I keep feeling that I need to start working out. My body, I feel like my body's trying to tell me something. It's trying to say, hey, you should start working out. It's time. But I wanted to wait until I get under 200 before I start. I want it to be end of one phase, start of the other phase, and not mix them there at the end. I'd like to be able to finish the journey to Wonderland, and then I can just drop that whole labeling and switch it to, I don't know, hitting peak performance or something like that. Gonna need some thought on the marketing. But anyways, we'll see. Maybe I can get there first and then switch over. Or maybe that will be how I get under 200, is just start working out. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens over the next few weeks. There's the other thing is that I haven't been checking my ketones and my blood sugar, because I suspect that I know more or less where it is, but now I can't say. I can't say if it's shot up. I didn't fast for, you know, a whole week. And I even didn't fast at the end of last week too. So it's been 3 fasts in a row that I've missed. So, you know, how much is that going to be bringing up my blood sugar and down my ketones? Maybe that might be my problem. I think even once I'm done and I get all the way to Wonderland and to peak performance level, I will still be fasting. There are benefits to fasting that I want to keep coming. And, you know, one of those benefits is just that autophagy. I want the autophagy that eats up the unnecessary stuff. I got a lot, you know, got right here. I can see it now, loose skin under my neck. And I want to get rid of that. And the only way that I can do that is encouraging my body to eat it up and use it up. So that's what I'm going to do. So this upcoming week, that's what we're going to do. We're going to clamp down. We're going to do what we normally do. I am going to stick to my usual plan, and that's going to be my deal. And we'll see if that improves things. I'll be back here next week to tell you about it on Big Anglovich on health.